Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to do a review of all the books that I finished in, what are we? We're in December, so that would have been November. I'm starting to lose track of what month we're in. I finished, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 books in November. I had a lot of time to read, so I'm just going to go through them. So I finally finished Forward the Foundation. This is a sequel to the prequel to the Foundation series. And I think this might have been the last book he wrote. And this was terrible. This was absolutely terrible. And the only reason I read it was just to understand his world building and his thought process and why and how he did what he did in the actual original books that are good. This one was absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. I finished it. It was very long and I'm getting rid of it. And it was just so badly. The writing was just awful. The things that happened to the characters were stupid beyond belief. And I'm so glad I finally finished it. And now I know the truth. And that would never recommend that to anyone. I also finished The Awakening by Kate Chopin. This one I almost DNF'd, but I pushed through and I finished it. I ended up really liking it. The tabs started about halfway through. Because I started tabbing all my books that I'm reading now. I like to put the tab at a place that really made me think or really emotionally affected me. And I'm hoping as I reread these books, I will add more tabs or move the tabs just to kind of keep my understanding of the book going. But this one I liked when she woke up, I guess. So the story is about a woman who is married and she has kids and she's just kind of going with the flow and being a good wife. And then she falls in love with another man, like really falls in love. And then she just kind of wakes up and realizes like her life, she needs to change her life completely. But she kind of goes crazy a little bit. But when she woke up, I really started to feel things because I also woke up a few years ago, about 5 or 6 years ago. I woke up and I started doing things that made me happy. And so I really related to this story and it was beautifully written. Now, I did not read the selected stories yet, so I guess I'm not really 100% done with this book. And I actually bought this copy because I really like these vintage, international vintage classics. So I bought myself a new copy because I really, really liked The Awakening and it really related to it. So I still need to read the selected stories. So I'm glad I pushed through because before she woke up, the book was kind of boring and kind of had Madame Bovary vibes without being as good as Madame Bovary. But then after she woke up, I really, really liked it. I also finished A Deadly Education, and I had the hardest time with this one too. I almost did not finish this one as well. I could not understand what the author was doing with this book. It was very strange. And I think I started reading this book 4 times, and every time I started reading it, every time I started reading this book, I just was really struggling. But then it kind of hit me what she was doing, and she was making fun of dark academia. She's kind of making fun of this like wizarding school world by she created a very unlikable protagonist. And the reason for that is because she is being pulled towards the dark side, and she believes that by being unlikable, no one will mistake her for an evil person because evil people are likable and attract people. So she's extremely unlikable. And in doing so, she's making a statement that, of course, she's the good guy because she's so unlikable. She's not tricking anyone into thinking she's going to manipulate them for their powers or manipulate them into doing anything to defeat them. So she's, and the book is so fast paced. It's just a constant commentary on this magical world. So it's just all this world building coming at you all the time by a very mean, unlikable person, which is kind of hard to get used to. But once you do, I have to read this book a couple more times. This book definitely had a lot of value. It's an interesting commentary on hierarchy and social structures and wealth inequality within this very complex magical world that the author created. I think I need to read this a couple more times to really, really get this world and really get this story a little better. But I'm glad I finally finished it. I did enjoy it. There were definitely some tabs where she would talk about things that really affected me. So I want to keep going and read the other 2 books in the series. So I'm going to talk about Emily Henry again. I'm going to start with funny story. I love this book. This book was amazing. I absolutely loved it. It was, I hate Emily Henry, and I've never liked anything I've ever read by her until this one. And this one I gave 5 stars to. This book was incredible. I loved it. I loved the characters. I loved the love story. I loved everything they said. I did tab quite a bit, and I was really into this book. And I love it. This is my favorite Emily Henry, and I guess I'm going to go ahead and read the other books she wrote because this was amazing. This was written for me, just for me. This is about 2 people who are left without their partners, and they become friends, and because their partners hooked up with each other, and now they're kind of easing their broken hearts by hanging out and being friends. And it's pretty simple story, but the personalities, I absolutely love them both. They were amazing. I was reading from them almost from the first page. So Funny Story was a huge win for me. So I immediately got Great Big Beautiful Life, because I was just like, I need more Emily Henry romance. This was okay. It felt rushed. I felt like she didn't edit this very well. Only 2 tabs in this one. Maybe I would like it again if I reread it. It was okay. It just, I think I gave it, I forget, either 3 or 4 stars. Maybe I was just, my expectations were too high going in after Funny Story. But I feel like maybe this one should have gone through a couple more rounds of editing. It was okay. Maybe I'll keep it. I also read A Court of Thrones and Roses. Oh my gosh. So this is my first Sarah J. Maas novel. And basically what happened was, you see this tab here? I was reading along, almost like completely bored out of my mind. I would say the beginning of this book was interesting enough. Then there was this whole section where I was just bored. I was so bored. I didn't care. Nothing was interesting. And I really, really considered just getting rid of this. I was completely baffled by the 5-star rating because the writing is terrible. And the characters are boring. Awful characters. And then this guy walks in, and his name is Rhysand. And that's when the book became amazing. And then I oh my gosh, yeah. This, like, right when he walks in, the book just changed completely. It's almost like the author's like, I'm throwing everything I wrote out the window and starting new. And the story changed completely, and like everybody woke up, and the world became amazing, and I was totally into it. And then I would say the ending was pretty bad. The ending was bad. Disappointing. So I think I ended up with maybe 3 stars for this one, but I am still in love with Rhysand, and I do want to continue to A Court of Mist and Fury, mainly because I already own the book, and I might as well. And if he becomes the main character, then I'm in. But yeah, I felt like the author was trying things, and then she kept them in the book, but she also kept moving the story into different directions. But this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, except, haha, the main character can't read. She's not Belle. She's a painter. Yeah. And then, she falls in love with the Beast, but he's not the Beast. He's a hot guy in a mask. And I'm not even sure when they fell in love. Like, when she started talking about being in love with him, I was actually kind of confused because I was like, when did that happen? She's in love with him? I don't remember them falling in love. So anyway, yeah, okay. So I guess, yeah, I'll continue on with the series and either keep or not keep this book at some point. But yeah, I read this one. Yay, look at me trying new things and getting out of my comfort zone of good books. I read Human Acts by Hong Kang. Hong Kang. This book was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Loved this. This is about a massacre by the South Korean government of this entire city, where there was a student uprising, and so the government came in and just, I think, killed almost everyone. Not everyone, but like the students. It specifically targeted the students, and this book was absolutely incredible. I love this so much. I am so in. This is my second book by Han Kang. And I also read The Vegetarian, which was very good and thought-provoking, but definitely not as engaging and beautiful as this book. This book was beautiful. So I still have We Do Not Part by her to read. And then, of course, I'm going to keep on buying books by this author and reading them. But this book was incredible. 5 stars. Life-changing. So beautiful. I read The Ballerinas, and I bought this one recently because it's called The Ballerinas. And this book was okay. I think I liked it more because I am a ballet dancer. If I was not a ballet dancer, I don't think I would have cared at all about this book. This also kept changing. It started out, I thought this was a thriller, but it wasn't. And then it became like a romance. And then it stopped that and became a Me Too situation. And then it turned into a murder mystery again, but it wasn't. It was really, I wouldn't even call it a murder mystery. It was all over the place. And it was good though, I think. I didn't tab it. So there was nothing in this book that moved me or like made me feel anything, but I'm glad I read it. I don't know if I'm going to keep it though. It takes place in the ballet world, which, might be the only thing that I really care about because I'm interested in the ballet world. But it's about a group of ballerinas who are in their, I want to say late 30s, mid 30s, and they used to be friends at the Paris Opera Ballet. I don't know why everything's about the Paris Opera Ballet. It's like such a random. Everything I hear in the media now is about that school and ballet company, but that's where it takes place, and they're all getting back together after years of being apart. And I don't know, just things happen, and I don't know. I'm glad I read it. I think I gave it, I'm going to say 3 stars. I read The Bear, and I never heard about this book. I found this at a free library, and I took it out on a whim, and I looked at the rating, and it was really well rated, and I read it, and I loved it. This book is amazing. This is like The Hatchet, but it's about the last girl in the world. So it's the book starts out, we are so far in the future. It is so post-apocalyptic that we are down to the last 2 people on Earth. It's that extreme. And it's this girl and her dad, and then it's just the girl, and she's just surviving. And this whole book is about her just trying to stay alive as long as possible. And I found it was really good. It was really well done. I want to give this to my kids to read because I think it's a young adult. I would say it's definitely geared towards the young who like the Hatchet type experiences where it's a child trying to survive on their own in really bad circumstances. And it kind of asks the question, like, what is the point of life? Is the point of life survival or procreation? Because this girl has no way to procreate. She's the last person on Earth. And maybe the whole point of life is just to survive as long as possible. So yeah, I really like this book. I'm definitely going to encourage my kids to read it. I really enjoyed this. So this one is another 5 stars. The writing is very engaging. The story is very engaging. Everything's really great. I finished another George Saunders. I'm a huge fan of George Saunders. This is the author of Lincoln on the Bardo, and he's mostly well known for his short story collections, which are just insane. The stories are social commentary on various issues, poverty. There was one really good story about advertisement, nonstop advertisement to us in social media. There's a lot of stuff like that. Yeah, it's called In Persuasion Nation. So yeah, it's mostly about advertisements, and most of the stories take place in the future where just things go haywire. And I really like this book. I like all his books very much. I don't think I've ever read, even the ones I didn't like by this author, I still liked because of the way he writes, because his writing is very new. It's different. I'm not used to. So when I read a book by George Saunders, it's very specifically him, his writing style, his commentary, the way everything is just crazy. But I find so much value in his work, and I just love it. So I'm really glad I read another one by him. Tender is the Flesh is probably one of the best books I've ever read. This book was absolutely horrifying. So horrifying that it's disgusting and terrifying and sickening, and just, I can see why people cannot finish this book. This book is horrific, absolutely horrifying book. But I loved it. I loved it so much. Look at all my tabbies. There should have been more tabs. This entire book should have been tabbed. I don't know why I was lazy. I'm I already bought the other book by this author. What is it called? I don't remember. But this is Augustina Bazterrica, and I don't remember the other book that she wrote that I bought. But anyway, I absolutely love this book. This book is incredible. Amazing commentary on what is humanity, what is human life. Basically, in this story, people are now being eaten and being bred to be eaten because humanity can't eat animals anymore, which sounds kind of ridiculous, but it's just amazing. I love this book. Highly recommend. I also read, I found my tabbies. I was looking for those. The Idiot by Elfie Botman. This is another book that I had a really hard time with. The tabs don't start until a little bit before halfway, because I almost didn't finish this one as well. I struggled with this one for months. I could not get into it. I could not get into the writing style. I could not get into this character. I don't even really sure what it's about. It's about this girl, I guess, and she's in college, and she's studying languages, and she is going through various experiences relating to languages and communication. And I'm gonna have to reread this. I mean, I think it's a pretty. It started getting really good, I would say, at the end, because she had to go to a different country and communicate with different people in different ways. But yeah, this was difficult for me. This was a very difficult book, and I had a really hard time with it. But I did buy the sequel, which is Either Or. I heard that one's even better. I definitely got invested in this book, and I did want to finish it. So yeah, I'm gonna keep going. Another amazing book I read was Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead by Olga Tokarczuk. I actually looked up the way to pronounce it, but now I forget how to do it. This book was great. This book takes place in this isolated village where there's a death, an accidental death, and then the protagonist is this old woman who has very specific viewpoints about hunting and astrology and her neighbors and animals. And all of these deaths start happening in this village. And it's kind of a detective mystery book. I really enjoyed it. I thought this book was great. I loved it. So I'm going to definitely keep reading more books by this author. I have 2 more by her, The Book of Jacob and Flights. She won the Nobel Prize for Literature. And I even though I did not agree with everything this woman very strongly, passionately believed in, I enjoyed the book overall. So I would highly recommend this one. I also finished Timequake by Kurt Vonnegut. This was very weird. This is a book. I guess he talks about writing this book that it's really just him. It's him talking about writing a book or discussing a book that he previously wrote, but he didn't, because this is fiction. And it's a book where I guess everybody had to go back in time and relive 10 years of their life, but they had no free will. So they just had to go through the motions. So whatever happened to this person in their life, they had to relive it for 10 years with no free will. And he discusses the repercussions of that. But it's not a book. It's just him talking about this book. And it was interesting. I definitely want to read it again. I enjoyed it. It's weird. All of Kurt Vonnegut's books are very weird, and this is one of the weirder ones. But I enjoyed it. I'm glad I read it. So I would read it again. And then finally, this is a nonfiction. I read The Ministry of Truth. This is all about the current administration and how they are basically just rewriting the narrative. And this has been happening for a while now. And it's just basically anytime that things aren't going their way, they find ways to rewrite what's happening. and change the facts and change the narrative, and just keep people believing what they're currently saying in very effective ways. And I found this book very interesting, so I gave this one 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. It's quick and also terrifying. But yeah, it's about the Republicans' war on the past and how they just keep changing facts to fit what they need people to believe. So I would highly recommend this one too if you are interested in politics and maybe not a Republican, unless maybe you are a Republican and you want to change your mind. This is a good book to see the other side of things. Anyway, thank you for watching, and great reading month. And definitely need to do another unhaul pretty soon before the end. I stopped uploading haul videos because I've been buying too many books, and it's getting kind of embarrassing. Nothing to be proud of. And I am changing the way my bookshelves look, so I'm getting rid of a lot of books that I just don't like the look of, because I do really want my books to look attractive and my bookshelves to look attractive. So that's another reason I stopped doing haul videos. And probably not going to be doing an on-haul video for all the books I'm getting rid of that are duplicates, because there are so many of them. There's really no point. Anyway, so thank you for watching, and yeah, really exciting reading month. Hopefully I can read a few more in December, and hopefully 2026 will be a positive reading month. Thank you for watching.